For those of you joining us for the first time, I want to say thank you for being here with us. For those of you that returned, you probably know that this is the point of the show where we actually announce the Tribute to My Parents Award, which is very special. But before we do that, I do want to take just a second, as many of you on this stage right now have orange ribbons on you, right? You do. And we, I think, all know what that represents. Jamie Gutenberg out of Florida. We all know what happened this past week with the shootings in the schools. And I think it's admirable with what the dance community across the country is doing right now with the orange ribbons and representing Jamie, someone whose life was taken unexpectedly. So right now, I've never done this before, but I do want to do this right now. I'm going to ask for everybody for just a second to close your eyes. And the audience, close your eyes for just a second. And right now, we're going to have a moment of silence in honor of Jamie and all the lives that were taken in Florida. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of their families and every one of them. So thank you guys for doing that, for taking just a moment. And now for me, I have a very special moment to share with you because this is the first time I've ever done this. But with the Tribute to My Parents Award in honor of my father when I started Tribute, it does make Tribute just a little bit different. And I have a reputation of that by taking the competition side away and making it personal. This young lady that wrote the essay, first of all, thank you all for sending in essays because it's an honor for me to read them. And it's a very hard decision sometimes to decide which one to select. But this young lady actually has been through some things that I understand. Let's put it that way. So first of all, before I continue my speech here, I guess, I would like to have Rebecca Tuska to come forward, please. Rebecca, you inspire me. And I don't know, I'm sure many of the people in the audience know your story. And some of the kids are in your studio too, but you inspire me with your bravery, your just determination to make it through a health issue that you never wished for, but that God has given you, and now you're trying to deal with that, and it's very inspiring. So I'm going to have your mom come out. Is your dad still here too? Is Stephen still here? I don't see him. I think I remember this 3 years ago. He kind of showed up at the tail end of it, which was still kind of nice. But actually, ladies and gentlemen, Becca did win this 3 years ago. But the essay was a little bit different because her health issue wasn't at the forefront at that particular time. And now this essay is a lot different because it talks about strength and it talks about things that are extremely important in life. So here is Miss Rebecca Tuska's essay about her mom and dad. 110 days. This blatantly small number describes the never-ending love of my parents' affection. For some, 110 days of non-stop parental endearment seems albatross. But for me, it was a blessing. 110 days I spent cooped up in a hospital room with none other than my biggest support system by my side, my parents. They were there for it all. Every sleepless night, every needle poke, every tear shed, they never left my side. They made sure to do everything possible to keep me happy, even if it meant pushing my IV pole around while I walked my daily 5 miles to keep conditioned. or bringing my puppy for a visit in the frigid December temperatures just to see the smile on my face. I am truly lucky to all these wonderful beings, not only my parents, but also being my friends. Be brave, Becca. This is the motto of my mom, created as an emblem of my strength. This saying holds a special place in my heart, as it has not only given me courage through my trials, but has also reminded me of my mother's bravery. Being the mother to a sick child is a full-time job with no sick days. It takes immense bravery to watch your child struggle, and it takes even more fortitude to persevere through trials while taking care of siblings and maintaining a job. This is what inspires me about my mom. There would be days when she would come to the hospital after a 12-hour day at the studio just so she could be there to hold me or to wipe up my tears. On her days off of work, she would come to the hospital and bring crafts to do with me, knowing she would have to stay up after I fell asleep to answer client emails or to finish the monthly newsletter for the studio. Every day she worked selflessly to ensure I could have a normal life and return to doing what I loved. She has worked tirelessly to advocate for my care, to make sure I could go back to dance rehearsal the next week, or to make sure the doctors knew my plans for college. I am forever grateful for my mom's gratitude throughout my endeavors, because without her, I wouldn't be standing here today. My father is a man of few words, but when he speaks, his words are truly life-changing. Throughout the past year, my father and I have grown incredibly close, and I will cherish our relationship for a lifetime. He truly knows how to make me smile, which is what I admire about him the most. While I spent my time in the hospital, he tried his best to make me laugh every day. I remember on Christmas Eve, we were playing cards when the nurse walked in, and he couldn't hold back the smile on her face because he exclaimed that we were betting on my college tuition. I remember another time when I was getting my tube replaced, and he sat next to me holding his phone next to my face so I could watch the afternoon's episode of SpongeBob. And I, of course, couldn't forget our daily 5-mile laps around the 8th floor of the Children's Hospital when he proposed to the nurses that I would wear their Fitbits for a small charge of $10 a nurse. Good. While these silly jokes seem ludicrous to the naked eye, these humorous stunts are what kept my spirits up throughout each of my stays at the hospital. I want my dad to know that I would never change a thing about our relationship, and he holds such a special place in my heart. Now, before I end my essay, I want to go off on a limb to describe one more exceptional parent in my life, my godmother, Karen Levine. For those of you who don't know Miss Karen, she's the definition of what it means to preserve, and this is what I admire about her. Karen has been my second mom for years and knows me best by the nickname her son Dalton gave me, Beckaboo. Although we are not related by blood, Karen is my family, and I will cherish our relationship forever. Like my mom, Karen was the mother to a sick child, and as sad as it is to say, my godbrother now watches down on me from heaven. Karen has persevered through this hardship and has continued to show selfless love to others, even when she has every reason not to. Miss Karen has inspired me to continue fighting, and I want to recognize her with my own mother and father, as she has touched my family in ways I cannot explain. We are forever grateful for her, and without her, our courage would have subsided long ago. When I won this award as a freshman 3 years ago, I knew the meaning of unconditional love in another way. I was as naive to loss and trials just as any of my other peers. Today, I stand here with an unbreakable bond that weaves itself into the hearts of the people I call my parents. Without them, I would not be standing here today as a survivor, let alone a dancer. I want to thank them for supporting me through my trials and for showing me what true sacrifice looks like. Now I go every day, never taking this routine we call life for granted, because of my parents' compassion. Because of their endless affection, I can realize that the future is inevitable, but they have taught me the most important message: to be brave. And there's her essay. Thank you guys so much for listening. Before you guys leave, we've got this right here too. That's in the box. And you know, as I always, you already know what I'm going to tell you on this one too. So there's the check. Give this to Stephen. This is for both your kids' entry fees this weekend. Yes. And then there's also I'm not going to tell you the amount, but there's a donation for, I know the medical expenses. I've been there. I know how much they add up. Hopefully this donation will help your family. So God bless you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you guys so much for listening to that beautiful speech today. But before we continue, for your moms and your dads, let's give them a big round of applause. I know how much you guys love them. Please tell them how much you love them and give them a big hug and a kiss when you get off stage today. All right. Now I have the privilege and honor from that going on to our individual category awards for all of the large groups and lines today.